you're probably wondering, another video about your art project? Yep, and this one is actually done. This is the full product. The title of this one is Sense of Independence. Just those 3 words, and you can kind of tell where it means a lot of that alone. Before we get started with the explanation video of my art project going to VASE Competition, keep drinking water. It's beneficial for your health and hydration. Drinking water really helped me with the process of this project. But with that being said, here's some information and just kind of like the idea behind this and the process, etc., etc. So first, my sketch in the process of it. Originally, this was my first main sketch, where you can kind of see I had a little bit of, idea to it. I mainly want to focus on the shading because my last year's critique was mainly that, and then my character just didn't really look as pleasing. This one isn't really about the character, but it's really just the aesthetic of everything together here. But I had to shoulder my sketch and the idea I inspired to do multiple sketches to get to where I'm at here. The official product is here. So now you're probably wondering, what's the purpose of this project, this submission in particular? Well, I want to influence personal expression of my way of independence uniquely in my perspective, because I love the Wild West aesthetic and the comfort sitting on a saddle, especially on a horseback saddle. As you can see here, my Billy character. Yeah, that's my Billy character. But the artwork brings sentiment retrospectively as well, because I'm a sentimental guy. Like retrospection and kind of like the Wild West. I expect my grandparents really do enjoy the Wild West films, so give a shout out credit to them, especially me wearing a Georgia Bulldog shirt. Yesterday was my uncle's birthday, who had passed away, so tribute to him. But yeah, then as I'm zipping this back up, the idea is to demonstrate how anyone can express themselves individually by less of others judging them, instead the nature of standing out as who they truly are. And for me, it just kind of shows my character in the most probably diverse way as possible. No, I'm not a cowboy myself. I just kind of like the aesthetic and idea behind it, and the true purpose of standing out who I am now, because I live in Texas currently. But I am pretty much a mix of urban and suburban, really. I'm really a suburban guy, so yeah. So what was my technique going in this? So, like the medium and media to produce this thing, I went with the super root like my last submission, which, again, I like a lot less. But I used colored pencils, as you can see. The coloring of the red-orange sky is very pretty, and the grass right there, and then the ground, you can barely tell, it's like a cocky, sandy, like trail. Then the color of the horse, like the brown, then the leather saddle, and then my vest, which is leathering, my blue jeans, my boots, my cowboy hat, which has the same kind of color tint as my vest. Then you can see a little bit, you can barely see my like red-orange shirt. It's supposed to be my Ram shirt. Then of course you have the sun up top, which y'all saw in the other video. But to bring the drawing to life, basically, well, in a way, I focus on bringing the shading to light with my own pencil and darkening the lighter colors to match up with the sunset in the background, of course, as you can see there. So what was my inspiration with the digital implications to help me with the process? I did find an image online to get the idea how to trace a horse, because this is my very first submission that I draw the horse and is going into the competition. You can kind of tell the hooves, the black hooves, going to like the tail has its own texture as well. Kind of want to match up the texture as well. It's not the best looking, but it's my first and most excited. Even the like rope going in front of the horse right here, it's not as good as I was expecting going down the horse's mane. Yeah, I could have done a little bit better with that, but it's the best I could have done, and I'm very excited to share this to the competition Saturday. But with that being said, the rest just kind of went through my head with the, color aspects and the combat of my vividly matching up pace of the, focus of the horse itself, as me writing on it, of course, anyway. So explain how you produce this artwork. I took time focusing on shading proportions. Time is key. which was my biggest criticism, of course, the shading, which you can see the shadows of the horse. It may not be the best, but I think I did a much better job with this one. So I'm very confident that I can at least get a bit more respect on that. So took my class time to completely get the levels of this process in good depth. Eventually taking the month of January, which was last month, to completely get all the rest of this colored in anyway. So yeah, some of them with the darker tones, as you can see, not all of them are light. Most of them would be light colors, just darken them a little bit with extra like darker reds to kind of like mash up the orange, and did the same thing with the green, just kind of like use the black pencil to kind of darken the green, and did a dark brown to like darken the, you know, lighter brown of the horse. So, well, it's not really a light brown, but you get the idea, chestnut anyway. So, and then explanation of the most important elements and principles that I use to develop this artwork as it is here. Precision and idealism crossed my mind, which both equally guided me through the sketching process. Again, using a few of these to line up on top of one another to get this. Simplicity is always the key when drawing something more difficult to the eye. Again, for me, I had to use an online image at least based off the horse itself, because I've never drawn a horse. So you get the idea with that. Using the imagination brings undeniable skills that provoke a blend of a pleasant warmth of painted skies, which you can see up there. Then they brought the execution well together, going into the aesthetics and critical judgment. So describing decisions I took going into this project, I focused more heavily on giving shade to the colored artwork, explained in there. Nothing could be much better than improving from your last year's artwork, which is what I did, of course. So I noted the main goals was to convince my improvement to basically just focus on my creativity, which is what I always admire for myself, to get like a good message of independence, which leads to the personal expression. My personal expression is basically something as my mindful creativity and independent of my individuality, basically destined to push my love for the Wild West and a satisfaction for horseback riding with a confident expression of adapting to the unpredictability under a beautiful red-eye sky. And that is a sense of independence. And that is my creative process behind this artwork. Keep drinking water. I'm gonna be definitely needing it for Saturday. I'm very excited. And this is just me explaining the process of my artwork. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.